is the concept of zakat. Purification of our souls and growth. We come to the third term. The third term that we have is probably the most profound, which is the term infaq. الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He describes the act of giving as an act of infaq. What is the meaning of infaq? And these nuances, you will never perceive them through translations. This is why knowing the Arabic language is key to detecting these nuances. What is the meaning of infaq? You see, when you look at the word infaq, it's derived from the word nafaq. Nafaq literally means a hole. So infaq is actually a very specific type of charity. It is to give in a way that fills a gap in society. It's not just any type of giving. I remember I was visiting a community. I'm not going to mention what the name of the community, but there was a brother who wanted to donate a sizable portion of his wealth to the masjid. Now, what did he want to do with the wealth? He wanted to purchase the best Italian marble for the masjid. And it was going to cost millions to import, not the marble that's at Home Depot. No. Straight from Italy. Now, yes, may Allah reward this brother for his intentions. But from a Quranic perspective, does this constitute infaq? It doesn't. Why? Because you're not actually solving a societal problem. You're not filling a gap in society. Infaq is to do what this community is doing. Infaq is to look around at the public school system and say, we cannot outsource the tarbiyah of our children to these institutions. It's to recognize that we have a gap that needs to be filled. And that gap is the establishment of these types of schools. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, what does He say to the believers? Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum naran wa quduha an-nas wal hijara. O you who believe, shield your families. Don't think of yourself as an individual. You have a duty as a parent. You have a duty as a community member to look after those who are under your care, to look after your dependents. It's not enough to just give them food and shelter. You cannot surrender the most precious things that you have to a secular system that is not interested in the tarbiyah of your children. Allah says, O you who believe, shield yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones. We are living in a society where we are surrounded by all of these metaphorical fires that threaten our values and that threaten our very identity, as Brother Hassan mentioned earlier. The most important thing, my dear brothers and sisters, is our identity. And as someone who went to public schools growing up, I can tell you that holding on to your identity when you're spending 8 hours a day in a school that ridicules your beliefs, that mocks the existence of God, only by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did we hold on to our iman. We don't want to put our kids through that experience. We want to give them something better. Because the Prophet, what does he say? You are all shepherds. كلكم راع وكل مسؤول عن رعيته. And you are all responsible for your flock. You're responsible for your family. But even if you don't have kids, even if you're not married This is your flock. We have to look after each other. We can no longer rely on these public institutions. We have to build our own institutions.